How many of us have been suffering incessantly from a bad stomach or acidity or diarrhea or constipation? And how many of us have gone and taken tons of medicines to get rid of those terrible migraines? This is Dr. Drlennydacosta, a geriatric physician, a functional medicine expert, and the author of the upcoming book, Is Your Doctor Keeping You Sick? My dear friends, those are some of the few symptoms that you see when you are gluten intolerant, or when the wheats that you eat or all the wheat products that you eat in your diet are affecting your health. And today, I just want to share with you something that came up suddenly in some of my research that I was doing to make a presentation of a paper. And I'd like to read that to you. It says, the New England Journal of Medicine has recently revealed that the consumption of gluten, specifically in wheat, can trigger approximately 55 different diseases. It's alarming, but it is true. And what I just mentioned to you, that indigestion, the digestive problems, the GERD that you have, the gastroesophageal reflux that you have, the diarrhea, the constipation, the terrible migraines, those are some of the symptoms that you will see when you are intolerant to wheat and the gluten in that wheat. So today, I am going to share with you 10 symptoms. If you have it, try stopping wheat and see if those symptoms get better, because despite the medications, those symptoms don't go away. And we'll start with the digestive issues. Yes, what are the digestive issues that you normally see? The first one that we're doing is the digestive issues, and the digestive issues that you see are diarrhea, constipation, bloating, your gastroesophageal reflux, irritable bowel syndrome, most importantly, malnutrition. You will feel a little weakness. And how does this happen basically? So when gluten gets into your gut, it gets split into gliadin. Gliadin is responsible to create inflammation within the gut. And this inflammation actually starts affecting the cilia. Now inside the intestine, you have spokes that you have which push the food down. These cilia get affected, they get destroyed. The inner lining of the intestines get destroyed, and the intestines have tightly bound junctions which don't allow the toxins to get into your bloodstream. That become loose and you have toxins entering the bloodstream, inflammation, and that causes inflammation, leading to a whole lot of problems. So that is what happens when you have gastric intolerance because of gluten. That was the number one, digestive issues. Number two, we have a whole lot of people who complain of skin problems because of gluten. Now, people who suffer from gluten sensitivities are only 15% of the population. That is an extreme. Those people do have what we call herpetic itchy rashes. Now what are these? These are really very itchy rashes that you have on your buttocks, on your knee joints, on your elbows, and they really hurt. Now these are seen in mainly celiac disease, where only 15% of the population does have it, or even less maybe. But a large amount of population has what is known as gluten intolerance, and you have such rashes appearing in them as well. Unfortunately, they just try and take some antihistaminics and see if it goes away. It doesn't. And number of times, if you just stop the wheat products, stop the gluten, you will have this itchy rash go away. The second skin issue that we see, which improves drastically, and there's a lot of literature now coming out, there is a lot of connection being made, is from psoriasis, with psoriasis and wheat and gluten. So this connection as well is very strong. If you stop wheat, a lot of the psoriatic patients start benefiting from it. they don't see those flare-ups of those lesions and they start feeling better and those lesions kind of go away. Then you have a lot of people complaining of dry skin. It's a kind of a flaky skin. Why does this happen? A lot of literature is saying that because of the gluten that you're eating, there's a lot of malabsorption of nutrients. So you need good nutrition for your skin to be nice, shiny, supple and oily. But if it's dry and flaky and looks very sick, it's because you're not getting enough nutrition. So that was the second symptoms, that's the skin lesions that you see when you are intolerant to gluten and the wheat affects your health. The third one is the recurring migraines. Now, migraines, the reason why you have these migraines is it's directly related to the leaky gut that you have because of those, I just spoke to you, I just told you about those tightly held intestinal junctions which get loose. There's damage of the intestinal inner lining because of the inflammation. You have toxic stuff that gets in, into the bloodstream. This leads right up to the brain and causes brain, a lot of brain inflammation, a lot of central nervous inflammation, leading to migraines. Of course, the actual real mechanism is still under investigation, but what we see is when you stop eating wheat, you stop the gluten in your diet, your migraines go away. So if any of you are suffering from those migraines and do have those debilitating migraines, please stop the gluten, stop all the bread, all the chapatis, everything that contains wheat, everything that contains gluten like rava, and see if your migraines go away. Now, there are other symptoms that also occur, and those are joint pains. Non-specific joint and muscle pains are mainly because of a generalized inflammation that gluten causes in the gut, and it is spread to the whole body. Then you have people who suffer from the sixth one that we are talking of is of autoimmune disorders. Sorry, the fifth one is autoimmune disorders. Now, autoimmune disorders, I've been treating a lot of them, whether it's rheumatoid arthritis, whether it is SLE, whether it is thyroiditis. Stop the wheat, active phase of the disease starts going down. Now, why does this happen? When you have inflammation in the gut because of the consumption of wheat, the immune system is always in a heightened state of alert. It's like overreactive or hyperreactive. This causes the immune system to start firing and damaging your own body. And that causes the autoimmune diseases that you have. So if you don't want that immune system to be hyperreactive, stop eating the wheat, stop eating gluten, and you will feel much better. The amount of steroids that you may have to take will come down. I have seen so many patients even getting off them just by this one modification in the diet. The sixth symptom that you can get rid of if you are facing it is chronic fatigue. I have seen a lot of patients who come and tell me, "Doc, I slept this 8 hours, but when I get up in the morning, I still feel very tired." Now, these things happen when you have an inflammation or that's like a chronic low-level inflammation all through your body. This happens with a constant intolerance to the gluten, and this intolerance leads to this inflammation. This inflammation kind of gives you this pain right through the day, the chronic fatigue right through the day. You also get sometimes fibromyalgia that keeps you fatigued all the time. Okay. The other thing that happens with gluten is there is a little bit of iron deficiency anemia that takes place. This itself causes a lot of fatigue. Then you have hormonal. The seventh one is hormonal imbalances. Now, how do we have hormonal imbalances? When you have too much of inflammation in your body, there is always a stress created in the body. This stress keeps the adrenal glands, which actually control your immune system, in a heightened state of activity, or they are kept in an overreactive state, at a point where the adrenal glands can no longer work, and then you get into kind of an adrenal fatigue, giving rise to depression, giving rise to a whole lot of other issues, including fatigue, including fibromyalgia, that's pain across the body that we just spoke of, leading to lower hormone releases, like lower testosterone release, lower estrogen, progesterone release, and therefore you do not have a very healthy life. So you do have hormonal disturbances just because of that wheat. The eighth symptom that you may see is frequent mood changes, and this is again related to both your hormone disturbances and the fact that the inflammation that you get through these loose junctions in your gut, causing the leaky gut, affecting and causing neuroinflammation. And that is another reason why you will have severe frequent mood swings. The other reason that is written in most of our literature is the large amount of serotonin present in the gut. Now, if you look at a lot of the literature that's coming out, there is a direct correlation between the brain and the gut. So serotonin, which is the feel-good hormone, is present in the brain. The second place where it is present in large quantities is in the gut. It's known as the second brain. When you have inflammation there, when you have a lot of malabsorption taking place, a lot of inflammation taking place, this affects the serotonin levels in the gut, giving rise to the frequent mood swings. The one thing that you need to look at is dramatic weight gain. If you want to get rid of the weight, and this is the ninth symptom that you need to look at that affects you, that you can see when wheat or gluten starts affecting your health. If you suddenly start putting on a lot of weight, it could be just because you are eating a lot of gluten, a lot of wheat. Now, there was a study done by a Brazilian team where they fed a group of mice with high-fat diet and another group of mice also with high-fat diet, but these group of mice also had 4.5% of gluten by way of wheat in their diet. And you won't believe, those that didn't have gluten actually had weight loss, and they lost weight, whereas those that had gluten put on weight. So even that whole humbug theory that if you eat a lot of fat makes you fat is all wrong, because the more fat you eat, the thinner you'll become. The more wheat and gluten and carbohydrates you eat, you put on more weight. So that was the ninth symptom that you will see when you are intolerant to gluten. And finally, the last one is a whole lot of neurological issues, and one of the most common ones that you see when you are intolerant to gluten or wheat, or when wheat starts affecting your health, is brain fogging. And what is brain fogging? You suddenly start losing your memory. You would have kept your keys somewhere, you've forgotten where you've kept it. You kept your specs somewhere, you've forgotten where you've kept it. You get up in the morning and you suddenly don't remember what you needed to do when you had decided that these were the things that you're going to do. That kind of sharpness in the brain has suddenly gone down. Stop eating the wheat and see how it returns back normally to you. So if you need to get back your health, get your health back at the level that you want to experience it. Could be that you need to just modify your diet slightly, drop the wheat and all the other gluten products from your diet. You have tons of others that are available. Use the rice, use the jowar, use the bajra. There's so many that you can do, and make your rotis with that, make your bread with that. I've had lots of my patients, in fact every patient of mine actually gets off the gluten and they're very, very happy. They tell me, "Doc, thank you for telling us to get off the wheat, because we are having a much healthier life now." If you like this video, my dear friends, please share it. Please do try getting off the wheat and seeing how you feel. Share the video, give me a thumbs up. Do send me your comments as well, and do visit my YouTube channel. I have tons and tons of good videos there that can help you live a happy, healthy life. See you soon with another video. Bye for now.